Welcome back, guys. Welcome back. We are going to do a game with a subscriber today, Eric in Boston. And Eric in Boston is rated, I believe, about 1050. So, about 350 points lower than me. We're going to go through the game. We're going to play, and then we're going to go over the game and look at it together. And just kind of see, at that rating range, kind of the moves that are being made and so on. If I win, which I hope that I do, we're going to go over and kind of see some mistakes and things like that. And hopefully, if you're rated around that same rating range, you guys could look at the game and get some value. And we're going to go over it together, him and I, and kind of see, how things look together. What I was thinking, what he was thinking, etc. Once the game has been played. So 1047. All right, so here we go. E4. The Scandinavian. All right, so let's play this. Now, if I do this, the queen gets to come out, which is what he's expecting. And so I'm kind of inclined to play this. Because the challenger of the queen, the drawback of the Scandinavian is traditionally, if you play this, I capture this way, and the queen gets to come out, and there's nobody here to cause any issues for the queen. But let's not reinvent the wheel here. We're just going to go ahead and play normal chess. Okay, so this is the deal. This move is hitting this twice, it's defended once. But if I play here, he's able to come down and pin me and stop me from being able to protect this pawn. So, with that in mind, I think I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to play... Well, let's go ahead. We'll get the knight out now. Yeah, we'll go ahead and get the knight out. When he pins, I'll play this. So let's go ahead and do... I can't play this. I could actually play this. Then he takes and I take. He takes and I take. All right, so hold on here. Let's see. If I play here, takes and takes. Probably should have pinned this to begin with, right? Every time I do a recording, everybody I've met since 3rd grade wants to talk to me. So, okay. So here, if he takes, I take. Hold on one second. Hold on. Sorry, guys. Sorry about that. All right. So here, let's see here. If I play here, takes, 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 takes. Here, takes, 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 takes. So do I have this move? If I play here, the queen could just simply go back. Or do this. If I go here and he took, I'm going to play this move. All right, now let's add some attack here, or add an attacker to the knight. Now, he could play that. But he can't take here because I would just capture. And then if he takes, doesn't matter. So that's getting hit and that's getting hit. I could play here. If I go here, I'll lose this pawn. So I think my pawn structure is going to get damaged regardless of what I do here. Actually, no. Because if he takes, then I take him. So let's do that. He doesn't have a check. That's a fork. So if he takes me, like here, then I'm going to capture him. And then I think both of us would end up losing castling rights. We would have to if we exchanged here. He could pin that to the queen. Or I'm sorry, no, he can't. He can't come here because I would take. So, yeah, he's just going to have to, he's either going to have to retreat or trade it all off. Made this cup of coffee about 10 minutes ago. It's already, well, it's gone now, but it was already getting cold. I hate this coffee pot, man. My girlfriend bought this coffee pot. It was like $300. And I hate this damn thing. It, half the time the coffee, like I'll go I'll press the button and you hit it and then nothing. It makes all the sounds and it sounds like you're going to get coffee, and then you come back 5 minutes later thinking your coffee's done and then you just got an empty cup and you got to redo. I don't know. I hate the damn thing. I remember when I was a kid, I went with my dad and he bought a $3 coffee pot and he used the damn thing for 20 years. So if I take here like this is attacked twice, defended once. So this is going to lose a piece. Now, if I take this way, he could capture here with check. But if I take this way, he's got no way to reclaim the material, I think. So we'll take, because he can't, if he takes the knight, he drops the queen. I'm pretty sure that opening the center of the board isn't the move. Now, I can play this and hit the queen. He can't go here and check. He can't go here and check. He can't go here and check. So let's play this. We'll hit the queen. Defended by my queen. My knight is still also defended by the queen. So he can't, okay, he has to play that. But see, now here, because the queen is undefended, this just drops the queen. See, nobody's defending it, and that's check, so that, unfortunately, that'll drop the queen. The thing about the Scandinavian is it is an incredibly aggressive opening, but when you watch like beginner videos or whatever, they always tell you got to be really careful about bringing the queen out so early in the game. So you got to be really careful, It's not a bad opening. On its own, the Scandinavian is a fine opening. But you got to be really careful to make sure that you don't get, when you bring the queen out, that it doesn't get, in trouble. So trades are good for us. Now, I could take this pawn. But if he comes over, then I have to move the knight, and this is then undefended. So I don't want to open that up yet. I don't know that I want to open that at all, to be honest. I could take here. He could push. Maybe I should have went ahead and taken here. Here, he takes. Here, he has to come and defend. So, okay. So if I take this and he takes me. I take this, he comes over. I play here. Alright, so here, 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 he could drop back. Yeah, I don't want to do that. So let's not give this away. So where should it go to? I could go here, threatening this. So if I played here, takes, takes, takes. I'll tell you though, here, 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 if he came back, let's not overcomplicate this. Opening the board is good for us, so I think that's what we should do. Now I have this. That just lets him take the piece. So, alright. If I play check, he could block like this. I'm kind of thinking I could do this and then get a discovered check. So let's play. That pressures that. He comes over. I play this. That's defended twice. Let's play here. And if I play this and he captures, so here takes, then that's check, and he drops the rook. So he's not going to be able to do that. But the problem he's got is if he moves this piece. So I have this. Yeah, let's. If I hit him with the check here, he doesn't have a way to defend this. So let's go ahead and do that. Discovered check. If he comes back, I'm going to pick this up with the pawn. Here, 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 here. That leaves me up. Let's think about this. If I go ahead and take this, let's say I take with the queen. He's forced to capture this way. I take like this, and I'm up 2 rooks. Then I'm up 2 rooks. 2 rooks. Can I win a game with up 2 rooks? I know that that's not the cleanest conversion, but that's how I'm going to play it. Take control of this file. So I could let him have this, but I don't think there's a really good argument for that. So let's go ahead and play this. Just get our pawns solidified so that he can't take any pawns, because we've already lost material here. So I don't want to give up any more. I could play this and double up on the file. Yeah, there's no real point in that. Let's play here and add an attacker here to this pawn, and then I'm going to come here and try to add a second attacker, and then I can try to win it that way. If I took and he takes, so now we're just up to 2 rooks and a knight, I guess. We'll pin that to the king. Let's see here. I don't think I could play that. Let's go ahead and pick up this other pawn. We'll just try to win the pawns here and see if we can get like a ladder mate. Yeah. So I'm going to take that. He does have a legal move here. That's important to keep note of. And then we'll sack for this pawn, and then we should be able to get a rook checkmate. So we'll play... Alright, so let's go ahead and do this. So this is, this is kind of the way that this checkmate pattern works. If you haven't seen it before, to checkmate with just a king and a rook, your king you want to be facing off directly with the other king, right? So this king, his king, can't step to this square, or this square because of my king, right? So whenever I play check, his king is forced to go backwards. See, because now whenever the king steps back, or I'm sorry, when the rook steps back, the king is the only thing keeping him from stepping forward. So he has to go backwards. So you just continue to cut the king off. And again, I'm going to repeat the same process. My king controls these three squares. So when I step back, he has to go backwards. So we're just going to repeat that same process the entire way down to the board to the back rank. And once he gets back here, now he's got nowhere to step backwards to. And then, once you get to this point, he's forced to come back out, and then that's checkmate. All right, let's go ahead and we'll call him up here. I wanted to go over the game with him together. So let me go ahead and do that. Let's go ahead and call him here. I'm ready. Let me just make sure that my Discord is...
Hello?
Hey, buddy, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right,
can you hear me all right?
Yeah, there we go. I use when I'm playing when I'm playing with my buddies on Discord, I always use the a headset. So I don't know if my I don't know if my what do you call it? The mic is actually connected to the thing or not every time I try to do this. All right, I'm gonna screen share with you here, and you can see my screen, and we can go over this game together here. You played a good game.
Well, I should have taken the queen back home.
Yeah,
early.
And that's what I said while I was playing is, the Scandinavian and it's they always say, don't bring your queen out early, don't bring your queen out early, but the Scandinavian's kind of the exception because you can keep it safe, but you have to make sure it is safe. And if you make a mistake, like if I make a mistake or your opponent makes a mistake, the Scandinavian, your queen's out already, so your queen's ready to pounce, but it's kind of a double-edged sword because if it's you that makes the mistake, your queen's out on the board. So it's, but you did play.
I took it back to I took it back to D7. I probably should have just taken it all the way back to D8 and then developed. But
you did play 80% accurate though, which is, that's still good. Do you know about what you usually play accuracy-wise in your own games?
Oh. I would say it's probably around there.
Yeah. Well, 80%, I'm rated, so I'm 1382, so I'm, 300 and right at about 350 points higher than you. So, to play 80%, if I played against, a 1700, 1750 and I played 80%, I'd feel pretty good about it. But,
no, it was good. I got to... After I got into trouble over there on that side of the board, I was like, man, I should have taken her all the way back home and instead of trying to kind of keep her out a little bit,
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
that was all.
Let's see here. So I opened with E4 and you played the Scandi. And then, we capture kind of the main line. And this move here, the bringing the knight out, I don't really see that a lot. And I think that's the best way to play it. because when you play with the knight out, I bring my knight out to defend, and when we do this trade, now there's no knight to come out to challenge your queen. So
right.
I do think that that's the best way to play it. Then I bring out go to d4, and you bring the knight, and I go here. They say this isn't the best move. What's the computer say is best? Bishop out. It's kind of an ugly move, though, to bring out the bishop like that. So you come down and pin. That's best move. And at this point, you have an advantage. So, all right. So I bring out...
Right here, I should have taken... Right here is where I should have just taken the queen back home, though, probably.
Yeah, well, you could have taken the... I think you could have taken the knight here. I think you could have taken the knight and caused me to double up my... So if you take well, if I take your queen, then I lose castling rights, and then you could.
And I was thinking about that, but I don't know. I knew going into it, I was like, man, you're better than I am, so I've got to kind of protect that queen, probably.
Yeah.
But didn't do a good job of
it. So you come back here. And I thought this was a good move. The computer didn't like it. What did they say was best? To take? Oh, okay. Yeah, to double up pressure on the knight. Yeah, okay, that makes sense. I thought that dropping back was a good move because you added a defender to the bishop while maintaining the pressure against me. But so they say coming back. Yeah, and this is where I thought, that you kind of got into some trouble here. So they...
Yeah.
So, well, but see, now this... Oh, no, I see. Well, no, because if you take and I take, you recapture. Oh, yeah, so you still do end up losing the knight. Yeah, okay. So, yeah, that does. I do see how that's a blunder. And then here, I did see this move here loses the bishop, and you couldn't really recapture. So then we played this, and I hit the queen. Yeah, and then that's really. They say this is an excellent move, but I think that this is brutal here. Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
What did, so you just moved away, yeah. Then the bishop comes out, castle. Then you played that. Now, I thought, so what did they say is best? Probably to take. I said that in the video that I thought that was probably the best move. But the way, what I seen here is if I take and you capture, I go here and you can defend the promotion, and then I've just traded a knight for 2 pawns. That's a powerful pawn, but I didn't really see a good way to follow that up. So I saved the knight. And I think you done the right thing here too, I thought, because you could capture here and damage my pawn structure, so like instead of playing that, you could have done this. But it's good when you're down like this to keep material on the board, because if you get down like this and you've got a rook and a bishop, 2 rooks and a bishop, I could still get in a lot of trouble and get checkmated. So especially when I was around this rating, I would get in a position. I'm like, well, hell, at least I can damage the structure, so I would. But this is, I think, a good thing to not make that trade and try to keep as much material on the board as you can, so that you still have checkmating chances,
Right.
So, all right, so I dropped back, and the idea, what I was trying to do here is I knew I was going to try to get this discovered check because you're lined up with the king. So you came over, and I played this. Now the point here is if you take like this, then I could play that. That's initially what I was thinking, but if you stepped out of the way, then then I'm in trouble myself. So, see, how did this go? You went here, yeah, and then I played the discovery.
And that's what I was thinking, like what you were saying there. And that's why I didn't take, but I still wanted to hopefully be able to open it up like this where the rook was on the queen when I moved.
Yeah, which is the right idea. I mean, it's it's because you're down a couple of pieces. Well, you're down quite a bit of material by this point, but you've got the right idea. You're creating a threat. You're keeping material on the board. So you're doing everything you can for yourself here. It was just really that opening sequence where your queen got into a little bit of trouble, and then I went ahead and I just traded off, and I because I know that you're if you're going to checkmate me, you need those rooks. So I went ahead and just traded off and got rid of them. And yeah, here I just went ahead and I mean at this point we're just and this move.
And I mean at that point once the rooks came off, I mean honestly, it's like oh man, I might as well resign. But I try to play stuff out, you know. So.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you didn't because I was talking and showing the checkmate pattern with just the rook and king. Do you know the checkmate pattern with the rook and king?
Sort of. I mean, my end games are I think where I struggle the most.
The end games. So this is what I found. So when I first started learning chess, when I very first, well, I mean, I learned when I was little, but once I came back to it as an adult and really got serious and started to want to play, I learned openings and opening traps, and that's the kind of thing I was focused on. I was like, I could play this, and I could catch somebody if they don't see it, and I could, But once you get, to, over 1,000, people kind of know their openings, and it's hard to get them in a trap. So what I found for myself was, when my elo really started to take off is when I really started looking into end games. So, I would definitely put a kind of an emphasis on trying to, learn a little bit more about, how to convert winning positions and so like, up one pawn, what's the best way to try to, because I found that's really where I got a lot of help because when I play an end game, I feel now that I'm, in a pretty good place to convert those positions. So, so I played.
Well, that's what my father-in-law, his brother, is a big chess player. Like he actually lived in Hawaii for a long time. He played Hikaru once, but I mean when Hikaru was like 10 years old, though, and lost to him. But like we were playing over the board the other day, and we play a lot because he's much higher ranked than I am. But he was like, man, he's like you play. He's like you're opening game, although I didn't show it today, obviously. But he's like, your opening and your middle game was great. He's like, if you played that level in the end game, he's like, you would have beat me whenever we were playing over the board the other day. It's just we got down to that end game, and that's where I got to focus some more on.
Daniel Naroditsky has a series on his channel now Daniel Naroditsky, his stuff sometimes I think is, especially that kind of thing is a little bit high level. But it is good information, and he goes over really like theoretical stuff, man, and but the information is in there if you're able to make use of it, But they have on chess.com, they have you're not a premium member, are you?
I am not.
They have some in-game stuff on there that you can use. There's a lot of YouTube stuff on there, or a lot of stuff on YouTube about end games and stuff. But there is some good resources. But I think that if because you have the right idea, like I said, in the middle game, don't trade. Don't make the trade. Put pressure on my queen, and when your king steps out of the way, like you've got the right ideas. I think in this game, you just got in just a little bit of trouble in the opening. And, and then by the time the middle game came, you just didn't have enough firepower to convert. But, against somebody, in your rating range, I mean, if you don't fall into that same trouble in the opening, you're doing the stuff that you need to do to kind of break through 1,100, 1,200. It's just, that in this game, you had a little trouble in the opening. But man, the end games, I can't, did you see Spankum Chess, the video that I done with him? Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
Well, me and him played a few games together. He's a really cool guy, man. But me and him were talking about the same thing, and he was talking about opening theory and stuff, different openings and so on. And I'm like, end games, man, end games. That's really where I think that the value is to be had once you kind of hit, where you're at. I think you get a lot out of that.
Yeah.
But let's see. So I played here, and what I was trying to do here is I want to get my bishop to this square so I can add another attacker on the pawn. So, but now when you play this, I take this pawn because if you recapture, then I get your bishop too, and then I just win a pawn out of it. So that was kind of the logic of that. And I did notice, a couple of times here in this game, the queen, when your queen come over, your queen's undefended. So not only did, I mean, you put it in a place where it could get forked, see, but if, for example, if, let's say, well, I can't really put a piece here, but if this was defended, if your queen's defended and I played check, if you're able to capture, now this is just a trade. But since it's undefended, you drop the piece. So, and then the knight, when you moved the knight over, it didn't have enough defenders either. So, when you might want to think about, your, where are we at here? Right here. So, when you get to, thinking about your games, you want to always take note when you move a piece or your opponent moves a piece, is that piece defended? So, because that, it could open up tactics. For example, there's a line in the Sicilian where once your bishop gets on this diagonal, if they've pushed their B pawn, you can sacrifice your bishop and then move the queen in for a check, or I think that actually goes here with a check, and you're able to fork the rook. Like, so you want to kind of always, kind of take note of, is this piece defended, is when they move, when I move, and so on. So you always want to kind of keep that in your mind, because, it opens it up for, tactics. So here I was just, trying to pin this pawn, and I knew I was going to try to come around and win it. And then, here it's kind of just, the pawns get swept up, and, then we just do the checkmate. I do go over, though, in the video, if you're interested, I talk about how this, the checkmate pattern with the king and the rook works. So if you're interested in, picking that up, it is in there. But I'm going to go ahead, I'll go ahead and end the video here. If you want to hang out for just a minute, we'll go ahead and wrap up and everything off camera. Is that cool?
Okay.
All right. If you guys like that, like, comment, subscribe, all the things. And if you guys want to do a game with me, we'll do the game, we'll play, and we'll go over with an analysis like this with you guys on your games. We'll see if we can help you guys be stronger chess players. Thank you guys for stopping by. We'll see you all in the next video.